Well, my friends, I'm back. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I'm back. Yes, I'm cutting it close, the end of September. But I wanted to get in this little theme that I had been planning on for some time. And so this part will be Jay's Crochet, back to school on a budget. Oh, now what could be better than that? And I was trying to look around and find a simple little stitch, something really simple. Maybe like, I see a lot of people doing the scarves, and I thought, well, I haven't done a scarf, and I start working on that, and then I wasn't sure, and then I looked for another pattern. Isn't it funny, when you want a simple pattern, you can never find one. You see all kind of really hard patterns or stitches, but I just wanted something really simple. And as I was looking, I came across this book that I bought last summer, well, this past summer, or I think I got it in the spring, of course. You can see the label, at Joann's. So I was over there probably and had a coupon and couldn't find nothing else, and I saw Melissa Leitman's book. Then also I realized once I started looking at the book, and it says Melissa Leitman's Indispensable Stitch Collection for Crocheters. 200 stitch patterns in words and symbols. Then I realized, my gosh, Melissa Leitman is a well-known icon. She's a fabric artist, a designer, on Ravelry. Everywhere you look, you can find the name Melissa Leitman. But I bought this book, and I hadn't used it. I brought it home. Like I said, I had a coupon. I probably brought it home and stuck it with all my other books. And once I found it, I thought, I start looking through it again. Now, this is not going to be a review yet. I'll have to pull out some of my books, and since I realize I have not given her a review, a stitch book review, I'll just make a note of it and do it on down the road. But this book, I looked through it, even at the store, and I didn't really see anything. It's very basic, common, public domain stitches, just everyday stitches. But like I said, she's a favorite of a lot of people. She's a favorite of mine. I got to know her back in the day, way before I got a computer. Remember when she had DVDs? Anybody else ever bought Melissa Leitman's DVDs? I remember I had just done my room over and got my new TV where you put the DVD in the side of the TV. And I had bought one of her, her knit DVDs, her crochet DVDs. They were simple projects. They were for beginners. But I'd sit home, that's before I got into groups, I'd sit home and put her DVD on late at night and just listen to her talk, maybe a scarf or a bag or whatever she was teaching on the DVD. Of course, I was making something else. But I thought, well, this book, even though maybe wouldn't impress experienced crocheters, but I thought this would be just right. I have so many of you that are still new and are beginner crocheters. This would be a good book for you. And not only are the stitches simple and easy to, I think you would and make sure I'm sorry about the glare. Ooh, that is a bad glare. Let me hold it up then. There we go. The stitches are really great, but look, it's the charts that I like. When I crochet, I prefer to have a chart. When I knit, I prefer to have the written word or the written rows. And you can see how large all her graphs or her symbols, her charts are. And it's just perfect for a beginner. So, out of this book, I decided to take Jay's Back to School on a Budget. A budget book. I'm going to show you a simple budget stitch. We'll use some budget yarn. And what could be more budgeter than that? So, let me show you the little project that I came up with. And, well, let me go ahead and show you the stitch. So, if you have this book, you can go ahead and pull it. You can go ahead and pull it up while I have the book out. Now, this stitch, and let me just kind of zoom back just a little bit. This stitch is on page 67. Very simple stitch. Like I said, they're all really friendly, beginner friendly, and that's one reason I chose it. It's alternating simple open work number 2. It's this stitch right here. And it's, like I said, but when you put it together, it makes a very nice piece of fabric for us to work with. And it's only 2 rows. So let me pull out a little of the yarn that I decide to work with, and then I will take you step by step using Melissa Leitman's version of this alternating simple open work stitch. 2 rows. Back in just a minute. Alright, so I've run through and picked out some yarn real quick just to give you an idea of what I was thinking, my mindset, as I was trying to find something to fit this simple stitch. Like I said, the whole thing now is on a budget. So I look through, and I don't know about you, but do you ever, when you go back through your stash, go, wonder why I bought this yarn? Why did I buy this yarn? So these are some of the yarns I decided to use on this stitch. I really should call it, why did I buy this yarn? Project. But here's, and these just happen to be Hobby Lobby, but you could have some from Joann's. I probably have some from Joann's too, but I just didn't feel like pulling everything out. This is Yarn Bee, soft and sleek. And I'm thinking, well, what was I thinking when I bought this yarn? Don't have a clue. But I made the trip over there. I was buying something. Here's some of their variegated or print. I love this yarn, and it's just a pretty fall color, and I think this would crochet up for this simple stitch. See, you want to find something, I'll show you one in solid later at the end, but my first idea was to use some of this, novelty type yarn. Here's some I got off the sales rack sometime at Hobby Lobby, and this is Aurora Borealis. Can't get the R out. I have no idea, but it was on the sale thing because there's a yellow sticker. And so I bought 2 or 3 skeins. Stuck it in a bag, put it on the pile, never thought about it again until I started kind of looking through my stash. Besides, it's getting fall. Well, it is fall now. The weather's cooler, or getting to be cool, especially at night. And I need to start going through and destashing. Too much yarn, got to get it to the church. Got to get it to some of the other places that I take yarn to. And then here's another one. It's one of the ones that I settle on because it matched the blue in the calendar. I love this yarn. And this is, let's see, Sea Muse. C, like S-E-A, Muse, M-U-S-C. And I thought, well, that's pretty variegated type yarn or print. So this is what I settle on. And so now I'll just show you what I came up with. Okay, first I started out with a scarf because everybody was doing scarves, and I thought, well, I'll just do a simple scarf. And I took it out because, like I said, this is just simple budget type yarn. It's it's just fine if you have a student away, which is what I was going for. Or you have a lot of teachers' gifts, and they need something that can be cared for easily. They don't need anything you got to be careful with and hang up and, try to block it out. They just want something, you just want to give them something really nice and just to, whatever you're thinking. Or kids away at school, this stuff is going to wind up on the dorm floor, or 2 or 3 of their friends are going to wear it and bring it back dirty. So... So that was the whole premise of it. Back to school. So if you have students going to school, in school, going back to school, and like I said, or teachers, young teachers, or just someone you would like to give this to. So let's go through it. Like I said, this is just one. It starts out as a simple rectangle. Now, for my age group or older, we like brooches and pins, so that's why I stuck that on there. Young people wouldn't wear that, so don't even go that way. And also I had, let's see if I moved it, I think I'm going to do another I-cord because I found these beads. I love to pick out beads. Anytime I pick out a yarn, I just start automatically going over to the bead section and picking out beads. And those are those Pandora style, with the large hole, like the Pandora beads. And I can put it on an I-cord. So I think I will do an I-cord. Now, this would, young people would, wear an I-cord and beads, but not the brooch. But all it is a long rectangle, and we just crochet. And I'm using a U.S. size I hook. My writing is rubbed off, but an I hook. And maybe I'll write it on the thing, write it down or something, if you can't understand me. But just an I hook, or you can use whatever hook. If you prefer a J, or you can use whatever. These call for I, or you might like an H hook. Here's a J. This says J, because I'm going to show you how we're going to fit it, or help you to come up with how many repeats you need. I work in repeats when I crochet. And once you crochet the rectangle just straight up, nothing fancy, I put a little border on the edge, and when we're done, we turn the little front collar down, and then in the back, this goes over your shoulders, of course, but it does not meet in the back. Can you see that? It does not meet, but we will meet the two top neck edges together. And I put a decorative button just to hold. I sew it in place, and then I just added a decorative button just to kind of, because, like I said, this is for kids, for young people. And then, of course, this just stays open in the back. Your back is open. And then I added fringe. And of course, when you wear it, you pull it down and like that in the front. Very simple. People, there's so much stuff out there. I was happy I was able to come up with this. I thought, oh yeah, that'll work. Look, in the 11th hour, look, oh, that'll work. And then plus, like I said, I had all this yarn. So there's a version, and then here's one of the other. This is this Aurora Borealis. This is some that I, like I said, got it from Hobby Lobby, and it's the same thing. This size is a little small. I wanted to check my sizes, do a couple different sizes just so I can see how it would look. Now this is that one. That yarn is really like, it feels more like rope. It's not really soft. I mean, the kids will probably love it, because they're going to just throw it on with some pants to go to the game, or go out with their friends having fun. They're not worried about, they just want to throw something on. And of course it's the same in the back as the first one. And you bring the back neck, center neck, bring those two pieces together, and we'll sew it together. And then I just put a button for decoration just over the seam. And then of course the back is open, just like that. It just goes over your shoulders. Here's your shoulders. It has to come over your shoulders like that. And here's the back. And it's just open. Just very simple. So, I wanted to get it in so I could have something for September. I wanted to be something on a budget. Something that, especially like I say, you got kids or you got teachers. Teachers are striking. I don't know where all this money's supposed to be, but you can start with teachers asking, they're not getting any. So, I wanted to I know people like to say, it's this time of year. We're on a budget. And this is my little contribution. So, let's get started. I've given you the stitch. I've shown you some yarn. We're going to use an I hook to crochet with, or whatever hook you prefer on the type of yarn. And once I show you how many repeats and how, about the repeats, you can, this is medium weight yarn. I work in medium weight, but you can easily work in fingering weight, or you can go down to, this would be great if you just used to sock yarn, that real small yarn. It doesn't matter. Just get the appropriate hook and join me back for Jay's Crochet back to school on a budget. And here's my cowl. Back in a minute. Alright, so I have some scrap yarn here, and I'm going to use a larger hook just so that you can see, but on my original projects I use the eye hook. Alright, now, you know, I don't do a lot of counting of chains unless it's just necessary. So in order to know how many chains, I suggest you chain a chain as long as your arm span. You know how if you stretch your arms out all the way and then make a chain at least that long. What I try to do is to make a chain longer than what I need. Then I start the pattern repeat, and I will hold the repeats, keep holding the repeats up to my body to see how many of those repeats does it take to go around or to fit whatever part of the body I'm trying to fit. Does that make sense? So instead of trying to figure out how many chains, I don't know, but I can tell you, I will show you how to use the repeat system. But it's hard to get people to not be afraid to make a long chain. And you think, well, that seems like it's wasting yarn. Yeah, but the yarn is not that expensive, and it's better to do this than if you do all that counting and fall asleep, and then you have to recount. This way, I just make a long chain. So, make a chain as long as your arm span, and maybe even give it some extra, 2 or 3 extra inches, 4 or 5, just some extra room so that you don't have to keep starting over. Now, on this sample, of course it's smaller, I've made a chain. Now, on the pattern, on the stitch, Melissa Leekman's stitch, we've gone over the name. She starts out on row 1, which will be the right side, and she started out with in the 4th chain, let's see, just make sure I read it to you right. So she starts out, it's a foundation chain, in the 4th chain from the hook. Alright, we're going to do a double crochet, but I'm going to add an extra because I like to have what I call a border. I'm just going to add, here's my little border there, because I thought that just 2, when you look at the chart, there's just 2 stitches there. Well, I wanted to have something a little more, something sturdier. So here's what I'm going to do. In the 4th chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I will put the double crochet from the chart. Now, for me, I want to add 1 more double crochet in the next chain. So I do another double crochet. And now I have a border that I'm going to call a border. 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? Now we're going to get ready to start the pattern. You will chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. In the next chain, we're going to do a single crochet in that chain, and then 1 more single crochet in the next chain. Easy enough. Alright, now chain 3. You're going to realize this chain 3 is just going to be the perfect number. 1, 2, 3. Easy to remember on this stitch and project. So after I do the 2 single crochets in 2 different chains, I chain 3. I skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Now, on the next chain, I'm going to do a double crochet, and then in the next chain, put another double crochet. Easy enough. That's what you have so far, and that's the simple repeat. So let me show you. Chain 3 every time. 1, 2, 3. skip 3, 1, 2, 3. If I did a double crochet, then I need to repeat by putting a single crochet, and then in the next chain another single crochet. Okay. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. How many? Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. If I have 2 singles, I need to put 2 doubles now. So a double crochet in that chain, go to the next chain, put a double crochet. Okay. So far, here's our pattern. Now, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Look back, I have 2 double crochets, so I need to put 2 singles. 1 single in that chain, another single stitch in that chain, the next chain. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. If I have singles here, I need 2 double crochets. 1. Get some yarn, and in the next chain another double crochet. 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3. After 2 doubles, I need 2 single crochets. 1 in that chain and 1 in the next chain. Alright. See? There we go. See, maybe if I lay it down. Smooth it out. Let me just check my camera, see how. Okay. Shall we continue? Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3. If I have 2 single crochets, then I need 2 double. I need 2 crochets here, 2 double crochets. That's 1, and in the next chain, that's 2. You know, the first row always looks ragged. Okay, now you're going to keep going, but I'm going to stop my little sample here. You're going to go all the way across your long chain. Okay, all the while, you're going to have to kind of stop and hold it up across. This needs to go from one shoulder across your front, since it's hard to hold it to your back, to the next shoulder, but it needs to overlap each shoulder at least by 4 or 5 inches or so. You need to have some to go over the shoulder, not just right to the shoulder. All right, so now before we end it and stop, let me show you this, how to start counting your repeats. Here we go. Make sure I'm on, because you're going to stop and you've got to put it up to your body every once in a while. Here's my little border, and of course, if I have a border on this end, I will have a border. I'll have one on this end. But it's all the little places in between the border on each end we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and etc. You just keep counting. On my original that I made for my body, and I'm making a second one, and I'm finding it's the same number for this stitch. If we had a new stitch, the numbers would be different because every stitch is different. Let me see, can I lay it here against this background so that you can see it? Let me turn it this way. All right, we're going to count, just like I said, not counting the borders. Now all this fringe is in the way. I should have the one that I'm working in real time. That's the one I should have brought over. Let me get that one, the one I'm working in real time, so you can see it. It's light. Back in a sec. Okay, now here's one that I'm working in real time, and I wanted to show you this before we turn, because you don't want to turn and work back a whole row and then realize, oh, I don't have enough, and have to go back and start pulling out. So on the very first row, we're still on row 1, and it's the right side. Here's my border. Now this is light color. Let me just check and make sure that you can see it enough, I believe. Here's my border on the edge right there. And then, like I said, everything in between the beginning border and the end, that's what you count. So I'm counting over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're counting these repeats. For my size, on my original and the one I'm working in real time, which is this one, I needed 27. Not counting the borders, just 27 in between. You'll see they start making like a little column. So you're going to notice that. But everything, just like I showed on the chain, I had to have it 27. So I'm assuming, or let's see, if you were going to make a small size, or I notice a lot of the kids are very slim, if the child, the person is very slim, maybe 25. You might have your border, but then count 1, 2, 3, and do the repeat 25 times. Now, like I said, mine is 27, and this is the second one I'm making, and it fits really nice. So if you were, and I represent like, for small to medium, say 25 repeats. Now, of course, everybody's gauge is going to be different, and depending on what yarn. This is medium weight yarn. So then I'm just trying to help you kind of, so you'll see where I am. And mine's, so I'm large or 1X, up to 1X or so. So then I'm doing 29 repeats. No, 27, excuse me. I completely got off. It took me 27. Did I say 29 from the beginning? I hope not. 27 repeats for my size. Large to X, 1X, something like that. Then if you know that you're just broader or wider, or that you need more, then maybe you might go up to 29. And if you notice I'm using odd numbers, or if you need to go on up to 31 of these columns once we start working. So you see, that's why you need such a long chain, because this stitch, even though it's simple, it eats up a lot of yarn, I notice. Now I'm going to pull this, my rectangle. We're making a long rectangle. That's what we're making. So here's my beginning on camera. Now I'm going to just kind of pull it across as I roll it across so you can see. And I had 27. I hope I said that right. See, as I pull it across. So that needs to go from my right back a little bit around the front of my body to the other side. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go back to I'll come back to this a little later. Now, here we go. So, on my little sample, say if I say, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I like odd numbers. Let's see if I have room for one more. Let's see if I can do one more. 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now to end, I need to end this repeat wherever you think you have the right number of repeats. So right here I'm going to chain 3, then skip 1, 2, 3. But now watch, I need 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to kind of cheat here because I ran out of, see, my chain wasn't long enough. No, yes, my chain was not long enough for this little sample. But I need to end with 3 double crochets to match the beginning. So see, now I have 3 double crochets there, and which is my border, and then of course here when I started, 1, 2, 3. Now, all right, so this is the row you want to keep putting around your body or holding it up. See if it works for you. What is the repeat that will work for you? My repeat for large to at least 1X, I use 27. Just in case I said it wrong. 27. All right. Now, at the end, watch. this is the right side, row 1. Now, for the next row, there's only 2 rows. Of course, that must be the wrong side. I end with 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to chain 1, turn the work, and as soon as I chain 1, I will single crochet into that chain of that stitch, just like that, and then into the next stitch, single crochet, and 1 more, single crochet. If I can get it in here, there it goes. So I have 3 single crochets on top of those double crochets. Now, what do? Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, all I have to do is start stacking. But since this is the wrong side, the opposite side, all the stitches will be just completely opposite. After I chain 3, I look over here and you'll see 2 single crochets. You see them right there in between? You see those 2 single crochets? Well, on top of 2 single crochets, I have to put 2 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, another double crochet on top of those 2 singles. Now, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go over to the next place. There are 2 double crochets, so I have to put 2 single crochets. We're on the wrong side and we have to do the opposite stitch. There's a single crochet. We're just stacking on top of the stitch below. But it is the opposite. So now, it's a mess at first. There's the double crochets, there's the 2 single. Now chain 1, 2, 3. I pull it open and look. The next thing are 2 single crochets, so I know I have to do 2 double crochets. I have to stack 2 doubles on top of 2 singles. Alright, now I need to get over here, so I need to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's 2 doubles. So you kind of pull them up. So I need to make 2 singles. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Take a moment and listen. Can you hear it? Well, there's a little cricket. Not much, though. All right, my friends, maybe they've gone, maybe they moved, maybe they've gone out of town, maybe they'll go on vacation, the crickets and the cicadas. Okay, so I've chained 3. I look here, I see 2 single crochets. So on this wrong side, and we can mark the wrong side, I have to stack 2 double crochets on top, just like this. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I go, there's 2 double crochets, so I stack 2 single crochets. Oh, all right, so now let me work to the end so we can turn and we can maybe talk a minute. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to whiz by now, so I know I need to do double crochet there and here. Oops, my hands are just still sweaty. 1, 2, 3, and the yarn is just sticking. All right, move on to this 2 double crochets. So I need to put 2 singles above those 2. 1, 2, 3. Move to the next. I'm getting to the end. Of course, you're going to have a long chain. I have 2 singles, so I know I need to put 2 doubles. And this is how you know you have done it right. Because at the end, let's see, chain, there's that. Now chain 1, 2, 3. Now you see there's the 3 double crochets there. And of course, the way you'll know if you end right, and you didn't kind of mix things up, you're going to end just the opposite. Above these 3 double crochets, I'm just going to do 1 single crochet, another single, and then a single crochet into the post. Voila! That is the wrong side, row 2. Now this is when you can take some yarn and mark it. Let's see if I can get a little hook. Maybe some red or something. All I had was some yellow. But maybe some red or pink or blue or something. But make it bright so it's going to help you. See that? Now, that is row 2, the wrong side. Now we just go back to row 1. To get back to row 1, after I do the 3 single crochets, to finish that row, chain 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. Well, I'm just a tangled up mess here today. Well, my hands are sweaty, so the yarn is just sticking. Alright, so as soon as I chain 3 and turn, then I go back into row 1. That's a double crochet there, and then one more double crochet, because our borders, we have 3 on each end. See, now there's 1, 2, 3. Chain, 3, 1, 2, 3. I go to the next section right here. I see there's a double crochet, so I know I need to make a single above each one. 1, 2. Now chain 3. 1, 2, 2, 3. Move to the next section. I see there's 2 single crochets right there, so I know I need to put 2 doubles right there, right above. Stack them on top. Stack, stack. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Move to the next section. I need to put a single crochet and a single crochet. Now, you will just continue across all the way, just like we're working. Do I need to work a few more, or you think you're okay? Okay. After a while, I have to warn you, this stitch becomes, it hypnotizes you. And you just get confuddled, like, where am I? Which one am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be single crocheting? Oh, I'm just confused now. So, you may have to come up with your own little thing eventually sometimes. Well, because I was trying to watch television too, or trying to watch, catch up on some of my YouTube watching. So then I had to come up with a little song or a little theme. I'd go, if I got to the end and I was off somewhere, or I saw that I wasn't in the right place, I'd go back to the beginning and I'd go, well, that's high and that's low. High, low, till I found it. And usually, of course, what would happen is you'd not be paying attention. Here I've done 2 double crochets, and you get right here and you do 2 double crochets again, and then it throws the whole thing off. But eventually you're not going to go far before you're going to realize it, because you'll see it won't match up. But 2 double crochets here, so I know, and 2 double crochets here, so I know I need to put a single there, and then one on top of that one. Just like that. If I can get my hook in here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. There is 2 singles, so I need 2 doubles. Double crochet, double crochet. Simple stitch, but you can't really get the rhythm because each row is opposite. 1, 2, 3, and that's what kind of started to throw me. And sometimes I can't tell you how many times I had to pull it back because I would get off. Or if you get lost and you think, where am I? What am I supposed to be doing? Just go back, high, low, high, low, high, low. Or double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? All right, that's a single crochet right there too. I need to do a double. Let me get to the end, and then since mine is short, you have a long row. 1, 2, 3. But it's on a budget. That's what it's about. It's the budget. Okay. I see there's 2 double crochets, so I know I need to do 2 singles. 1, 2. Oops, you have to get into the stitch, not into that little space, okay? Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm at the end, and I can tell there's 3 single crochets there. And I see that I need to go into a double crochet, just the opposite. So I need to do 3. 1, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets. Then I know I need to go to the opposite stitch. And to do that, right here on the end, I chain 1, turn the work. Now I'm on the wrong side. I single crochet into that first stitch, and then into this one, single crochet, single crochet. Now we start again. Chain 1, 2, 3. Look over here. I see that I need to do 2 double crochets to stack on top of those singles. Well, and repeat across the row. Let's see if we can see. Maybe I'll turn it on the right side just so I can lay it out. So hopefully you see why you want to try to get it find out how many repeats on this first row. You'll keep holding it up to your body. That's why you need a long chain. In case you need a few more, you go up. You try 25. Okay, I'm bigger than small and medium. I'm going to go up to 27. Oh man, I'm bigger than that. I'm going to try 29. So you have a chain to keep trying till you hit your mark. All the chain that's left, if you crochet with me, you know we simply get rid of it at the end of the project. We cut that off and follow the yarn back and tie a little knot. That's it. So you lost a little yarn. We'll use it to sew the button on. So what do you think? All right. Let me pull this one back just so I can start. Now, I'm going to be working this one in real time. I've got about halfway. This is about half. I think I went up. You're going to need to go up at least whatever your back length is. Say if you need to go at least 16 or 18. I'm going to go up about, I believe this one was about a little over 16 inches. So whatever kind of the middle of your back or what looks, just hold it up, or hold it up to the front of your body, and it needs to come down. Once you hold it up to your neck, it needs to get down towards your belly button in length, so you'll know that's how many rows that I will need. So I think mine is about 30 of these. If I just counted the double crochet section, just the double crochets counting down. It's hard to see on here, but if I counted 1, 2, 3, real careful, I think I needed about, I think that came to about 15, and by the time you add the single crochets, it's about 30 rows, maybe. But just hold it up to the body, to the front of your body, and it needs to come down from your neck to your belly button. Let's see. Would that be easier? All right. You've got a lot of crocheting to do. Try not to fall asleep, and if you do, you'll have to, and if you see you made a mistake, just go back a little bit, check it, or go back to the beginning of the row and check and make sure you have high, low, high, low, high, low, or you can go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then you go, oh, I made the mistake right here, and then you can just pull it back. That's what's the beauty of crocheting, knitting. Okay. I've made it plain and simple. 2 little rows. Just enjoy the little crochet journey, and then I'll see you back as I work this one in real time right along with you. Take care. Okay, so I have worked the one that I'm, of course, working in real time up to, I held it up to my body and I was satisfied with it. Like I said, it's a personal preference. You can use, like I said, your neck down to your belly button. This one I'm stopping a little shorter, only because I'm short and I'm going to do something a little different, and I just didn't need anything too long. But if you're tall, of course, you're just going to make yours a little longer, 15, 16, or 18 inches, whatever it is that will fit you comfortably, or what you might like. The drape is in the front of this, because remember, this does not have a back to it. We're gonna button it at the neck, but there's no back, so all the drape and all the weight is gonna fall to the front. So, all right, I've worked on this one, and as you can see, I have a nice long rectangle. I was trying to find something easy to go with the easy stitch, so you see how long. And I counted my little repeats every column, and I did 27 for I said 1X size, large to 1X size. That was enough. That was a width that was good. Oops, sorry. That worked out for me. All right, here we go. Now we want to finish this. When you finish the length you want, stop on a wrong side row. So you can see I have my markers here. You can see that that I still have my wrong side little contrasting yarn. So just stop on a wrong side row, and I'm going to show you this in case you want to do something a little different than just fringe. All right, so I know this is just the row I just finished, and it's the wrong side. I would have turned, if I continued, I'd have turned the fabric, but I'm stopping. So now I need you to see if you can find, you're going to need one of these large eye plastic needles. You can get them over in the craft section or with the other yarn needles, but these are big with a big eye. So I don't know how long I've had this a while. And I found, I don't have the name, I think it was Red Heart, but there's Red Heart. Let's see, where did I put it? Well, let's see, Red Heart Fur. Or you can get it might be another brand you might see, or some other type of novelty yarn. But this is Red Heart. This is this faux fur. And what I've done, I've cut a piece much longer than what I need. In fact, I think I should have cut it a little longer. So I'll measure it out like to the length of my rectangle, and then go about a couple of feet more. It's real inexpensive, and you get a lot in the bag. So with this large eye needle, I'm gonna stick one end of this fur right through the large eye, see, just so that I can get it in there. All right, now since we're on the wrong side, all I'm going to do is do a whip stitch across the top edge of my piece here. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to go in the, oops, sorry, wrong way, Jay. Wrong way, Jay. Wrong way. All right, put it back in. Okay. So I'm going to start here on the edge, and I'm just going to bring my yarn. Let's put the stuff on this side. Bring my fur through. The reason we have to do it this way, because you really can't see how to crochet with this. There would be no way for you to see. I mean, it is just, I tried to think of a way to crochet. You know, I thought, oh, I'll just crochet it across. I couldn't see a thing. I don't know why I'm so mixed up today. Okay, I just wanted to go bring the needle through. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, and leave just a little bit of a tail. In fact, you can go ahead. All we're going to do is tie a knot. Take a little bit that's left. Make a little knot. Because you can't see it. You can't see any. I'm just going by feel. And I've got a little knot, and I'll tack that little tiny bit down. But I've got a knot there to secure it. Remember, I'm on the wrong side. Because when we fold this down, I don't know why I keep hitting the camera. When we fold this down, that's what we want. So now I'm just going to start whip stitching. I'm going to just bring it close to the camera, And I'm just going to whip stitch into the those large holes, just anywhere, very light. But now don't pull. This is why you need a lot. And like I said, I probably didn't cut enough. But if you don't, you can always tie a knot. See, I'm just pulling, coming through the back. See, I'm whip stitching, going across. You know how you whip stitch, you go across, come under and up. That's a little whip stitch. All right, go across, take the needle across, come from the back, and I'm just whip stitching this fake fur, and I'm not doing it tight, because one day you might want to take this off for some reason. You might want something else. So you keep it nice and loose. Take the needle in the back. Don't go in anything like that, because it might make it hard to ever get out. So I'm just going through the large holes, pulling it lightly, not tight, through the back. Oh gosh, I hope I have enough. I don't think I cut it long enough. Okay, so then I'll slide it down, make sure I'm still in the camera range. Okay, that's good. All right. You take the needle, go behind and come to the front, whip stitching. This little, go behind and into the large hole and whip stitch. Pulling it very loose, pulling down, go behind and come to the front. All across these large holes that you have, you're putting in. Stop every once in a while. Make sure it's not pulled tight. You want to see the fuzz and the fur. We had a knot down here to keep that in place, so we're okay there. Go to the next big opening, go behind, needle behind, and come into the front, whip stitch. Go behind and come to the front. You may have to, from down the road, you might want to redo this and put another fur or something else. I'm coming on down. And so now you get the rhythm of it. And if it gets too tight in spots, we're going to go back and kind of, spread it out, check it, make sure it's not. Now you can kind of see how quickly this goes. I was just trying to get you started so you can see what to do. If I start seeing the yarn poking through too much of the top, then I know I'm pulling too tight. And I go back and I loosen that fur up. Just kind of take your fingers and see, because we're leaving enough draping in as we put it through. I'm not pulling tight at all. I'm letting it just be real drapey in those large spaces. Just like that. Don't pull tight. Oh yeah, I'm going to have enough. Yay! So see, you need a foot more than what you need, probably. I'd rather have too much than have to, oh man, have to go back and do it again. Okay, my needle dropped out. Let me just poke it back in there. So there's no problem with this big plastic yarn needle. Go back before you get to the end. See if you can fluff, make sure. Okie dokie. Let's see, where's the last one? Is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, go in this one. And in this space. Or you can really do it with your fingers. My needle keeps dropping out, so I'm going to just go and do it with my fingers. Look, I was trying to be all professional. Look, I was trying to be all professional. Okay, look, just pop it in with your fingers. Only because these holes are so large. You can see that's where I stopped. I hadn't cut that off yet because, in fact, I went back and pulled some rows out. It was just too long once I tried it on. Kind of held it to my body the last time. I'm just so short. Okay, now I do have to kind of work it in this last, maybe right there. Now before I tie it off, make a knot, I'm just going to fluff it up, make sure that it's covering. So just pull it back because we have enough slack in it that if I need to pull some, see, I can pull that a little bit. This end had the little tie on. We've already tied that securely. So now you have a large rectangle with fake fur, if you like. Hope that's not too far away. I'm trying to get it all in here. Alright, so now we're done with that. And if I'm happy with the slack and I've got this and I'm ready to turn it over, then I can go ahead, remember that little tail I had, I can tie that off. I can use that as, I can tie a knot, I can use that to knot, but I really want it to use for the button. I'll go ahead and tie it. I'll go ahead and use some of this. I should have left a little more because we got to add a button. So, but I'm using that little tail that was left where I stopped. You see it right there. I should have left a little more. Now don't tie a nice knot of your fur. Make sure you, and then go ahead and tie a second knot. So I'm totally doing this by feel. I can't see a thing, folks. All these feathers, all this fur, I can't see a thing. Okay, so beneath I have a really strong knot before I start whacking and cutting off. Now, because we have to put the button on, and I have to take some of this off, otherwise I can't see it. So I'm going to come down from a knot a little bit so I have something to tack down, like on the other side. So that was a little bit left. Oh, we might can make us a, oh my gosh, you know, we might be able to make us a flower. I don't know. Okay, we'll hold on to that. Okay, so now we need to turn it so that we can put it like we're going to wear it. So I turn the top down a little bit, turn it over. Now I'm on the front. Does that make sense? Now I have the fur on the front where it's going to drape. Check my camera. Yeah, you can see that. All right. And this part will simply go around. This is going around your neck now. So now I guess I need to turn it around now. Okay, so this is the back of the neck or the back of the piece. And I need to bring it around because we need to add on a button to secure it. Listen to that. It was such a pretty day. I thought I could get by. My co-hosts are back. Oh, I am not going to stop this video. Alright, so there is the two back ends, and you, oh, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Alright, it's about, I don't know, I pulled down about an inch and a half or 2 inches right here in the regular crochet right there. See, here it is, and I fold over about 2 inches and about 2 inches on this side, and they're gonna go just like this. Now it's hard to see with all this fur, but you can visualize. Now look, do not cross them over. That will be too thick. You see how thick that yarn? You're gonna butt them right up side by side. 2 inches on this side and about 2 inches on this side. And they're going to butt right up like this. Now all you have to do, we're going to sew it with a regular yarn needle, because I had a little tail here left. It wasn't much as I should have left. So when you end, be sure to leave 5 or 6 inches or even more so that you can sew up this little seam or where these two pieces butt together. So here we go. Maybe I'll move on. So here we go. And with all this fur, believe me, nobody's going to see hardly anything. So, but I do want to bring my needle up, get close to that edge. I lay the two back pieces. I butt them up together, not crossing over, because that will be too thick. And I'm just going to do a stitch back and forth like this, just enough to connect them, and go up under all the way through. Don't just get on top. Nobody's going to see this. So see, I went all the way through on both backs. This might not have been the greatest one to demonstrate on with the fur. I didn't think about that. And then when you get up to the top, you will take a couple of stitches, and then you know how you lock it in really good. See, I needed a little more. Should have had a little more. Now I'm going to have to cut some. I'm going to have to cut a piece. Or what I'll do for my button, but what I'll do is, remember this little, the little yarn I had when we started, and I had this, all these chains we didn't use. I forgot to bring the yarn over here, so I'm going to reach down. Since I know that I'm done now, I'm going to take this loose and use this, so I don't have to jump up. Let's see if I can untangle it. I tied a little knot in it to keep it out of the way. There we go. This is where we started the chain, and this is how much chain I had left over. So I'm going to cut about 2 inches from the piece. You see how right here, and I'll go about 2 inches or so. Now I'm going to follow. Just take your yarn needle, pull the loop, just pull the loop slowly. As you get close to the piece, we'll knot it. We'll pull it and it will knot itself, really. So that looks pretty close, you see that? Now sometimes I feel like if I've gone too far, I'll see that maybe I shouldn't have gone, maybe I pulled maybe. So I'll take my crochet hook and just pull it, go in a loop and pull it through, and then cinch it up, voila. Now, all I have to do is just cut that off if I don't need it. Or I can cut that right there, because it's not going anywhere. And then I can have this for my button. We'll leave a little bit to weave in. All right, so now, here's the back, center back, right at your neck. I'll pull it up, and right there, see, I just made a seam that you won't even be able to see with all that's going on. I'll pull it close. There's the fur. I kind of stitched these two together like that, but not like that. And now the big decision. Well, for the kids, you just use a regular, just utility type button, just a everyday button. You just want to have a button there. But if this is for somebody at church or someone who's going to wear this fur and look fancy, you may want to put, look at that. You may want to put that button. Let's see if I'm on, if you can see it. I might can pull in now that I can. Okay. You may want a button. You may want something like that. Look at that. Or you may, now if the person wears a lot of gold, of course you want to put a gold tone button. If the person wears a lot of silver, you want something with the silver. But look at that. Woo! Isn't that pretty? Oh man, I don't know which one. Now, if the person likes silver and she's wearing this to church or somewhere, you got to give the lady some bling. Isn't that pretty? Well, it's for me. I don't know if I want the silver or gold. All right. But this one is one I had been saving, thinking one day I'm going to make a project for this button. This is a shank, but, well, no, this is one of those little things, but I can sew that on too. But it's a shank type button. Most of all of these are shank with a little shank on them. That's pretty, but that may be heavy. I don't know. Now I'm so conflicted. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's too heavy or should I go with something more like that. Clean. Easy lines. I think this is the star because it's clean. The lines are simple. We have fur. So I'm going to take my yarn needle and this. If I had left a little extra, see right there, I would have had it. But I didn't. I'll weave that in. All right. Now I just pop this right at the top here. There's my little shank on the back. And you're going to have to run it from this side across. Leave a little tail so we can tie it. Run it back through. And if you can come under again a second time. I like to go a second time. I don't want to lose my pretty button. There we come up. There it is. A second time I go back down through all the layers. And it's a simple tie-on. All we're going to do is just tie it. Just like that. Real tight. And I'm going to make 3 knots. And I can knot this little piece here too. Instead of trying to weave it in, I'll just go ahead and knot that little piece that I messed up on. Okay. Voila. Now I can just cut all of this off. And look at that. There's the back with a simple. I went with the more classy, simple lines. Because, now I'm going to turn it to the front, but I need to take off all of this. Take all this out because that's distracting so we can see what we actually have. Okay, take off the contrasting yarns. Now I have this beautiful drape. And I can still add the fringe if you're that, if that's what you would like. If you don't think, okay, with the fur that's enough, do I need fringe? Now when you actually wear it, all the drape and the fullness will fall down. This is over the shoulders. These are like, see, they just fold over the shoulders. I hold it in place like that. Then all the fullness falls to the front. And you will wear it just like that. And who's to say? You could hey, there's nothing wrong with adding a pin. Hey, we can add anything we'd like. What do you think about that? Alright, let me check my camera and I'll make sure that I've covered everything. Okay, I wanted to come back on real quick. And after looking at it, it just did not look complete without the fringe. I had to go ahead and put the fringe on. It just did not look complete, people. And I've tried it on and it looks so pretty. Of course, today's about 80 something, over 80. And of course, we're going to have this. At least we're ahead of the cold weather. So it was quite hot just to try it on. But I wanted to come back on to let you see how I finished it up. And with the fringe and with the fur. Now listen, the only thing, this is a reminder. When you put your fringe on, I put my fringe at the end of each column. See here? I just came down and I put the fringe at the end. Now, a reminder, don't let your fringe look like it's a bad hair day. Take your piece to the ironing board or however you steam, lay it down, and have you some scissors, steam over some of the fringe, press it with your hands, and then you can lightly trim the edge. Just don't go too crazy trying to trim. With the iron, steam, comb it with your fingers, lay it flat so that your fringe won't have a bad hair day and look awful. then you can slightly trim. See, I just kind of lightly trimmed, you know, not trying to overdo, just to make it look nice. So, voila, another one for in the books. Well, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I hope you enjoyed crocheting back to school on a budget, or back to work, or back to whatever it is you're getting back to. You will be dressed in style. So, I'm working on the next piece, so I'll see you soon.